there are two sets of regulations, two different agency regulations and standards. And this is also right down to the mission. And so this is also sometimes it contradicts what the public schools regulations and standards are. So there's a rub there it's very hard to move over. There are political agenda changes that impact the system, depending on who comes in, when is governor or the legislature. And we're also constantly being reactive rather than putting our focus on the system itself, which would be lovely if we could just focus on the system instead of having to change or speak to different agendas that are coming in politically. UPK was an unfunded legislative mandate, and we have been working on from grant to grant to grant to make those continuous improvement happen. And it's very hard to operate that way. It's not a sustainable, the programs aren't sustainable because there's no funding behind them, ongoing funding. And then there's unequitable settings, as I previously had mentioned, with the licensed teacher being either direct instruction or not. Considerations for a new system: secure funding and not grants. That is one thing I could hardly recommend. Consider one agency oversight so that you don't have to worry about dual regulations. And then a slow implementation, like I read about in the state education standard article on UPK in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where they started with the established education system, public schools, before moving on to Head Starts, which were also established. It's also established system and federally funded. I think that was a very smart move. And I think that they probably got buy-in quicker from other agencies and also in the private businesses as in childcare settings. And always, as Steve had mentioned, always focus on those high quality, inclusive pre-K education for each and every child. That includes early learning standards and regulations. These must be in place so that our children have that equitable access.